Welcome to Unews. I'm Lorraine Caceres. We begin with stunning news breaking overnight. Shockwaves through the Middle East and around the world. Late last night, the U.S. killed one of Iran's most powerful men. It was a fiery scene right near Baghdad's international airport. We're covering every angle of this developing situation, and we begin with reactions in Washington, D.C. Janet Rodriguez has those details. Janet?
Lorraine, the Trump administration defending their actions today, saying that today we are a safer world for this attack. Now, the president last night, while the attack was happening, was very silent. He only tweeted a picture of the U.S. flag. We didn't know. But no one has really explained what that imminent attack might have been, and the Pentagon has not made any comments on the actions. Now, they are just saying that they will be sending more troops to the region. About 3,000 additional troops will deploy to the Middle East. And in Congress here, they are questioning President Trump's actions, not because of the results. Everyone is basically praising Soleimani's death. They do recognize his brutality, but Democrats are asking why now and why the gang of...
Do we know when the president is set to return back to Washington, D.C. after his holiday break?
Right, and not until next week. And the president has not made any public comments today other than those tweets. We are
Janet Rodriguez in Washington, D.C. And now moving on with reactions in Iran and Iraq, and also details on the man killed, Qasem Soleimani, Iran's top general, the second most important person in the Iranian government after the supreme leader, of course. In the car with Soleimani was a top Iraqi leader of pro-Iran militia Abu Mahdi al-Mudani's Secretary of State Mike Pompeo blamed him for orchestrating the assault on the U.S. Embassy on New Year's Eve. Joining me now, Joseph Umide, a counterterrorism expert, and with turmoil growing in the Middle East, stocks are falling sharply. Financial stocks fell. Meanwhile, another foreign policy crisis for the Trump administration. The regime of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has released new propaganda aimed at raising tensions with the U.S. and threats from Kim saying this week that there will never be denuclearization on the Korean peninsula if the U.S. persists in its hostile policy towards his country. The dictator also indicating that his country could soon resume testing nuclear weapons. Rafael Rodriguez has the latest. Analysts say if Kim Jong-un tests a long-range missile soon, a big challenge for Trump is going to be getting tough with Kim without overreacting. One way could be targeting Kim with specific sanctions, like going after the Chinese banks that are suspected of laundering his money. Up next on Unews, we're learning more about the clashes that erupted between armed groups and police in Nuevo Laredo across the border from Texas. The shootings and explosions spread over a wide area across the city until early hours of yesterday morning and could even be seen from the American side of the dividing line. David Romo brings us the latest. On the rise, Peggy Carranza has the information from New York City.
In the wake of the recent attacks, Jewish groups will hold a solidarity march across the Brooklyn Bridge next Sunday. In New York City, Peggy Carranza, Unews.
Now to Connecticut, where a Guatemalan student who was being held in an immigration detention center began 2020 with some good news. He was released after an immigration judge granted him asylum in the United States. His teachers and classmates supported him tirelessly during these difficult months. Paola Byron has a story. And thousands of workers in New York who receive below minimum wage will not have to rely on tips to meet that minimum mark. On Tuesday, the governor announced a plan set to eliminate this practice by the end of the year. Fabiola Galindo has the details. Coming up after going missing for nearly 2 weeks, the family of an 18-year-old says he's in a medically induced coma after being beaten during a test drive of his car. It happened after he posted the car for sale. Boys died Thursday in what police are calling an attempted murder-suicide. Chicago and a Texas man reported missing in the Grand Canyon nearly 2 weeks ago has been found alive. Martinsville, Arizona, where a teenager is being hailed as a hero after he saved 3 young relatives from being hit by a car. Unfortunately, he was severely injured in the process. Ricardo Arrandari has the story. We come back, a prominent South American fisherman of Bolivia on December 18 are completely unfounded. Back here in the States, in San Bernardino, California, there seems to be a lot of talk about a community called Needles, a place that almost looks like a ghost town, and that's because largely marijuana has come to town and its arrival has brought mixed reviews. Grecia Lastra has the latest on marijuana's new role in the community and how residents are responding. And with the start of 2020, many, as always, in health news, Google says its artificial intelligence system can beat doctors at detecting breast cancer. The claim and new guidelines for nutritional labels went into effect on January 1st. The FDA now requires, and a man in Wisconsin is getting a second chance, receiving a life-saving kidney transplant. It's all thanks to a massive and unconventional effort by his wife and the kindness of a stranger. Meriti Murungi has the story for him. And now let's go to Carolina Sarasa. She's standing by with a preview of stories we're working on for the next hour of News. Caro, what do you have for us?
Lorraine, thank you and happy Friday. A lot more info coming up in minutes. We have more details on the new email shedding light on the role President Trump had in denying military aid to Ukraine as the political scandal continues to grow. And we also have a special report on tobacco in America, the government now making major changes to those looking to purchase the product. And we'll bring you a shocking video of a father desperately trying to stop a carjacking in progress. His daughters inside the vehicle as the crime was committed. Those images and more coming up. Lorraine, back to you.
We'll be waiting for you, Caro, and happy Friday to you too. Lots of people have made the New Year's resolution to lose weight or eat healthier, but lots of people have the trouble to sticking to those resolutions. Here to help us is our very own Chef Jesus, and he's going to have a lot of tips on how we can achieve this. But the first thing is I want to show you my resolution.
Okay.
It's always been a struggle.
The water.
Drinking more water. I even
Nice.
bought this special little bottle to help me do it.
That is very important, Lorraine. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Great way to start, by the way.
Yeah, my goal is 3 liters.
3 liters?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
So I'm working towards it. So first
You
of
do much
all,
better than I do.
yeah, I'm trying. It's only day 3.
Okay.
So let's start with the carbs.
Yes, well, I want to give you, my advice in the New Year's resolution by trying to lose weight, right? Not diets from the beginning. To me, it's more important to create a habit and then make that habit part of your lifestyle. That's going to that is going to last you longer.
Yes.
Right? If you start with a diet or something too strict, you're not going to stick to that. I mean, you might do it for a month, maybe 6 weeks, but you'll stop.
Yeah, that's true, because I've tried it. It's very difficult. You just have to change the way you live.
Right. And you do that by replacing your carbs. You have the bad carbs, you have the good carbs, and to have that balanced meal. Then we have the sweets.
Yes.
The sweets always go with the drinks.
This is my problem area.
Yes, well, the sweets are my problem area too. But I eat my sweets. I don't drink my sweets.
Okay.
So you can have that balance.
Good tip,
If you know you have a sweet tooth, try to eliminate the juices. The processed juices, the sodas, and make your own juices. Natural juice, water.
When it comes to the portion of the fruits, can I possibly have this whole mango? Should I be just trying to have half of the mango?
You have a bigger range when you eating natural sweets than when you're drinking them and having the processed ones. Obviously, anything in excess is bad, but you can have a lot of fruits. I mean,
and let me ask you before we move on to the fats, sugar. Is it wise to replace it with sweeteners or stevia, which is the new thing, or is it okay to have the sugar but just less sugar?
I don't trust any of those sweeteners. I don't trust them because they're artificial. Nothing that comes some other way than ingredients here, but it's fats. I mean, people when they reduce fats, they think that they can reduce the good ones and the bad ones, and the idea is to eliminate the bad ones but keep eating the fat. You do need the fat. But you have options for good fat, just like the avocado, the olive oil,
The nuts.
the fish, the salmon, the nuts.
Yeah.
Those are great options. You don't want anything deep fried or too processed. Again, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost.
Of course, and it's really hard to stick to. And the portion, usually half avocado is good with a meal.
Yes, totally. Half avocado. I mean, I eat a lot of avocado.
Okay.
Probably one thing, as I said, too much is bad, but it's going to be always better than the other
And the
saturated
stuff,
fats.
of course.
Yes, fresh stuff.
And I guess one last tip is you have to include the exercise. There is no way around that.
Yes. Well, that's another segment. We'll try to go into that one.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for these
Thank you,
tips.
Lorraine.
I'll make sure to drink my water and give you an update when
Yes, that's a great
the
start.
weeks go by and see if I stick to it.
That's
I
a great
will.
start. Keep it up.
Okay.
Thanks
Thank you
for
so
having me.
much for being with us. Stay with us for Carolina Sarasa has the second hour of News. This looks all great. Thank you so much
No,
for coming
thank you.
by and having your tips.
That's great questions, and
And it's
we
always
want to keep the
interesting,
fruits
yeah,
with the
to
water.
come up with the recipes, to always know, what to do, and always have like a fallback.
Thank you. Well, the options are here.